Welcome back, guys. Episode 2 of the MonkeyGames Lounge. That's right. The official name has been confirmed. We've run it by so many focus groups, and that's the one that stood out. Everyone loved it, okay? So we expect you to love it too. Leave a comment underneath. Tell us how much you love the game. The name MonkeyGames Lounge. Now, what are we doing here? This is a bi-monthly podcast. Every second Friday, me and Ramses get together, and we discuss video games. Because we do that occasionally anyway, so we thought we might as well
Second and fourth Friday, my guy.
What did I say? Second and third?
Friday.
What did I say?
No, you said you'd every second Friday, and then you just went on.
No, but it is every second Friday.
Oh my god.
The second Friday, and then the second Friday after that.
Second and fourth.
Okay, fine, whatever. You sound like a robot.
No,
by the way.
but every second and fourth Friday.
Every second and fourth Friday. Thank you, Ramses, for correcting me there. Beautiful stuff. We get together and then we record a little bit and we put it up on YouTube for your guys' enjoyment. Now, what do we do in the show? We discuss video game subjects. We both have to do our homework and bring stories to the table. Last week, I think Ramses started with a story. So today, I have the honor to start. And to be honest with you, it is somewhat of a pivotal moment, okay, in my YouTube gaming career that has been spanning for a long time, to be honest. Not very successful, but it's been spanning for a long time, okay? It didn't stop me from doing it. I've been talking about Ubisoft for a very long time. And I've been covering the story for 10, 12 years, and it feels like we have finally reached the tipping point. Let me really quick, and I'm going to do this as a speed run, break down to you guys what happened in the last 4 or 5 days with Ubisoft, okay? First big story that I saw is this one. Hold on, I can share my screen somehow. Yes. Former Assassin's Creed boss sues Ubisoft for 1.3 million. Basically what he's saying is the way he was let go during the restructuring at the time wasn't right. They tried to not give him the benefits and everything that he was entitled to, and they didn't let him go properly, and he is so confident in that he sues them for 1.3 million. So then shortly thereafter, it was announced that Ubisoft is having drastic changes in the company. They're going to separate their whole company into like a bunch of departments. I think Ramses had like a little anecdote about that. They also canceled 6 games. Okay, 6 games have been canceled. I can put them up on screen here. We don't know all of them. It's not all confirmed. We don't have the list. We just have that number. And it says Prince of Persia remake canceled. Huge story. Everyone hates that so much. People were hyped for that game. Assassin's Creed post-Civil War game also canceled. Watch Dogs franchise on hold, dead or buried, so don't expect a new Watch Dogs game. This also spawned a whole wave of Watch Dogs videos online. People were like, look, Watch Dogs 2, I actually loved this game. A Splinter Cell game that was in development has been canceled. Like, this hurts me so much, and I don't know why they do this, because it's such a fan favorite. Again, people were so hyped. Star Wars Outlaws 2, even before it entered full production, is canceled. What is going on at Ubisoft? But this is just the beginning. Then they came forward and said, as part of their big restructuring effort, you know what we're going to do? We're going to focus much more on open world adventures and games as a service experiences. I was like, that's what you did before. That's what got you to the point where we are now. And it's not good. But they're like, no, we're restructuring into the same thing we were before. I'm not sure that classifies as a restructuring, okay?
Masterful gambit.
It is a masterful gambit, 100%. I mean, nobody does it like Ubisoft does it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so then they all came forward and they were like, not enough damage has been done in the last 4 days. Let's also announce that we're investing more into generative AI, okay? And obviously, part of using generative AI is that you kind of have to let people go, okay? You remove humans and then add AI, and we know how popular that is, right? We know how popular that is. So additional layoffs announced for February 12th. So it must be great if you're working for Ubisoft right now. I'm sure it feels amazing. Like, very good stuff.
Sky high morale.
That must be it. Like, the quality they're putting out must be insanely good, right? And I've seen people like, what's his name? Henderson. I forgot his name. A famous kind of leaker personality. And he said as well, like, he posted, if there are people working at Ubisoft, you won't anonymously talk about what's happening at Ubisoft behind the scenes at the moment. Here's an email, you know, we can talk about it anonymously. So I hope some people come forward and tell us the story. I mean, this tells the whole story in many ways. This is their what is it, 5-year stock price, okay, from somewhere above $80 here 5 years ago to where we are now, which is, I think it's $4 at this point. So unbelievable. Honestly, you rarely see something like this with a company that is so big, that was so successful, so beloved. I mean, it's hard to remember now, I know. But like, okay, so all this happened in the past a few days. And then beyond that, as kind of the final cherry on top, Ubisoft also announced that they're gonna now planning to force all their employees full time back into the office to boost the collective performance. Okay, because the morale is already super high. What people need right now is they need to be forced back into offices. When everyone, obviously, most people will probably enjoy the home office benefits and all that. Well, there you have it, okay? Tencent recently, this is the final point, invested, I think, $1.15 billion into Ubisoft. Here's a fun fact. That investment is, at this point right now, after the crash of their stock in the past few days, which I can put on screen as well, about double the entire market cap of Ubisoft. The 1.15 billion euros is, again, almost double the entire market cap of Ubisoft at this point. So I'm sure. I mean, why are they doing this? This is like a self-unaliving. You know what I mean? They're taking themselves apart. They were already on the ground. They were wounded. They were hurt. And here they are taking out a dagger and like putting it in their own hearts. I don't know. Here's my question to you. What do you think? Why are they doing this? All these announcements, further layoffs coming, 6 games canceled. They know this is not popular. Nobody's going to like this. On top of that, we're using AI. Nobody will like this. Why do they do this? Do you think this comes from Tencent? What is your theory there?
Well, I mean, the whole thing kind of does read like a man on fire douses himself with gasoline to try and put himself out. But I do think the reason they're doing that is just because they probably already know that it's not going to get better, and it's not going to get better for a long time. So I think this is just a form of shock therapy, It's either we allow the stock to go down very slowly across the whole year, or we take this decision, let it like crash, but it'll stabilize, and then we can work from there. And I probably also assume that the morale is reaching, it's underneath the ocean at this point. It's in the Mariana Trench as we speak. So I don't think they're really missing out on any morale. I do think they've shut they've shut like 3 studios at this point. One in Sweden and one in infamously in Canada, that Halifax that unionized. Which now I actually don't think they shut it because it unionized. I think they just shut it because they have to. They don't have the money to. I think the stock fell by this announcement was on Wednesday. By the end of Thursday, the stock had fell by 34%, which is the biggest drop in their history. And its current valuation is, I believe, just over €500 million, which is wild because in 2018, less than 10 years ago, the company was valued at 10 billion euros or something like that. So they went from 10 billion to $500 million in less than 10 years. Very, very rough, man. Reuters, who also reported on this, quoted a financial analyst in an investment bank, and they said, the financial analyst said the following: the prospect of a return to positive cash generation appears remote, and the maturity of a 675 million euro bond in November 2027 is likely to put additional pressure on the group's financial structure. Marty said. Marty is what's his name? Gordon Marty is the financial analyst that Reuters quoted. So, in other terms, if you think it's bad now, it's only going to get worse. So I think they have a fire under their ass, and they're like, well, we have to do this. They're also going to split the studio, like you said, in 5 creative divisions, organized by brand and what was it? Genre. Yeah, brand and genre. Yeah, man, I think I do think, again, they're like Rocky 2 right now. They still got one good fight left in them. I really do think that. I really do think that Ubisoft has at least one good game. I don't know what game, because to be fair, I think the Prince of Persia cancellation, I think that's absurd. I think the Prince of Persia cancellation is absolutely fucking absurd. I think we're currently living in an age of remasters. Everybody's loving remasters. They're tripping over themselves playing remastered. And for this company to just be like, no, we're not going to do that, and instead we're going to focus on games as a service and open world games. By the way, two very, very crowded fields right now, especially games as a service. Every game is games as a service now. So yeah, maybe they should take the advice of one of their main villains from Far Cry 3, Voss, who said, "Well, I was like, do you know the definition of insanity?" That's where Ubisoft is really at now. I really do think they either make like at least a really solid game, man. They really need any kind of win, or they're just gonna get bought out by I don't know, Tencent or some Saudi hedge fund, or probably Jared Kushner. So yeah,
Well,
that's where Ubisoft is. Not very inspiring.
there's always Division 3 that can save the company, that can turn everything
shut
around,
up, man.
okay?
Shut up, man.
No, look, listen. Here's the thing.
Shut up, man.
Here's what I think. Ubisoft, in the past, we've seen, in my opinion, in my observation, that Ubisoft had this tendency to do half-baked games. You could see how they look at a game like...
Oh, really?
Wait a second. Let me make my point here. Listen. So, you can look at a game like Watch Dogs, and you can see that they were like, look, there is this thing that they have in GTA. It's a big city. You can drive around. It is just it's amazing. We can do this too. So they have this ambition to be, I'm not saying they want to copy GTA, but it's clearly the same starting point. You can go steal the cars and everything, So then they're like, okay, but they're not willing to go the whole way because it's a long way, an expensive way. We see how much GTA 6 costs now, right? And how much long it's delayed, but how much it's anticipated. They completely underestimated. So they always created these Temu versions of the games that they produced. They were like underwhelming, and on the surface in the trailer looked great, but when you actually played the game, it felt dead and empty and soulless. Not all of them, right? But many of them. But here's what's interesting. That's where they were before. They were like, we put out Star Wars Outlaws anyway. Just put it out, right? And people are like, yeah, the game kind of sucks. There's not a lot to do, and it's kind of empty and at least some of the reviews I read, it wasn't very well received. Same even with like Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Another one recently. There's always the hype wave in the beginning. People are hyped and positive, but then over time, people are landing in reality, and they're like, "It's not that great of a game, really." It's not bad,
Dude,
but
people weren't even hyped with Shadows. People weren't even hyped about it. They were just like, "Oh wow!"
It just came and went, game, right? The big Assassin's Creed anticipated over decades in Japan, ancient Japan. It came and went. Nobody cared, basically, right? But here's the thing:
15 years too late, man.
But here's the thing. Now they announce that an easy win, like Splinter Cell, has been canned. It was in development, so they had something. They could have said, okay, you know what? That's an easy win. That's going to make us at least, we've calculated that many millions. We need that money. They don't do it. They're like, we're icing it. We're shutting it down. We're not doing the thing anymore. And that to me implies an actual quite drastic, like, what are they doing now? What franchise... some people were saying Beyond Good and Evil is not on that list. Beyond Good and Evil 2, right? It's got to be still. There's hopium. People are injecting hopium.
Who in the year of our Lord 2026 is thinking about Beyond Good and Evil?
Dude,
respectfully.
That was the big headline. You saw it everywhere. In the light of all these Ubisoft news, you got Beyond Good and Evil tweets left and right. People like, it's not on the list. It's confirmed, guys. It's alive and stuff.
Wow.
It's huge.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's real, guys. Okay, so hopium, inject the hopium, Beyond Good and Evil, basically confirmed.
Listen, man, you know what? I think, if you think that Division 3 might somehow bring it back, I think if the Division's free, maybe,
Very
maybe
nice.
If that's the games as a service thing, maybe instead of Division 3, they just call it the Division Free. You feel
clever?
Me?
Yeah, clever.
Yeah.
That's why
But
by
no,
the way,
I still think.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, is that why I'm the creative director of TSM Incorporated?
No, I was just gonna say that's why you're in economic stuff and not in creative. But all good, good stuff from there. All good stuff.
Sure. Anyway, yeah. So I still think that they still have the golden goose, which is Rabbids. Everyone loves Rabbids. It was everywhere on Nickelodeon back when I was a kid. So. People love Rabbids. Maybe make a Rabbids trading game. Hearthstone Rabbids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good idea. Now you just open it up. They're gonna pull a Nintendo basically, and they're gonna turn the video game company they were into like a card collector and toy company. They start producing collectible cards and stuff. Like Pokemon cards.
Dude,
That's it.
I'm being dead serious. I think the cancellation of the Prince of Persia remake, I think, is Man, that either must have been a cursed development or because I just don't. I mean, it's for you, Splinter Cell. I think Splinter Cell also had this like double-edged sword, which was like a really beloved franchise. So if they even get it kind of okay, not it would maybe make it even worse. But I feel like, man, a remaster is just such an easy layup, bro, and they still couldn't do that. So
I know.
I don't know. Listen, if people are buying the Demon Souls remaster, people will buy anything. Okay? No offense to Demon Souls, but the game is bad, like objectively.
No, but it has it almost established a genre, you know, in some ways. You could
yes, okay, I get it. But just buy the original Demon Souls, man. Why do you need a 112 gigabyte remaster? Just get the original like 40 gig game and call it a day. Okay, now I'm mad. Now you've pissed me off.
I made you angry now. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't even say anything, but it's always me. But no, I mean, here's the truth about the look. I would have played the Prince of Persia remake. I wasn't particularly excited about it because here's the thing: Prince of Persia could never do something like this because to me, Prince of Persia is basically like it's like a little. It's not a AAA game. It's not a big, huge, groundbreaking, everything-changing game. I mean, you know, not everything needs to be. If you look, I don't know.
It was when it came out. It was when it came out.
Okay, fair enough.
But I do agree. The benchmark for a AAA game is now, yeah.
You know, and it's just not going to move the needle, basically. It comes out, people play it, they have fun, and it's going to have underwhelming sales numbers anyway, to be honest, because it just caters to like a hardcore original fan base from back in the days who are nostalgic about it.
One of the most beloved games from Ubisoft released in recent memory was a Prince of Persia, like 2D side-scroller fighting-ish game. I remember they announced it, I don't know, this was like 3 years ago or something. No, probably 6 years ago at this point. But the guy who came out, he seemed super enthusiastic. He said that he played the Prince of Persia games all the time, and now he's working on it. And originally, I wasn't a fan of the game at all, but the guy's presentation, and then they showed his gameplay, and then it was released to pretty, moderate success. I can't remember the name of it right now, but so their most recent W, so to speak, was a Prince of Persia game. And on top of that, Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's like I said, 10 years way too late, and also. Other than it kind of also got released during that time when Gamergate 2 was actually coming to be a thing, and then it died in less than 2 weeks because people were like, "Oh no, never mind. We actually, that's disgusting." But also, I mean, the biggest condemnation of all, man. Assassin's Creed Shadow landed on Angry Joe's top 10 most disappointing games of the year. I mean, is a fate worse than death, man? A fate worse than death.
That's true. That's embarrassing. Yeah, I just don't. The thing is, I would have thought, for example, a Splinter Cell game that could have been a comeback because you can remarket it.
Too difficult.
Why?
Too difficult.
Why? What's the gameplay?
If you just make it needs to be very good at minimum, and you gotta understand you're coming into this. I like how you say you gotta understand, like I'm a 40-year-old veteran and you're just some schmuck I got from the street. But anyway, you gotta understand that the company you're going in wanting to hate the game. Feel me? So even if it's like a 5 out of 10, 5.5, 6, people are still gonna lambast it. It needs to be good. Like you can when you play that game, it can't be like Avowed, or it can't be like Shadows, or it can't be like any of the disappointing games of this year. It has to be like a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It has to be like, it doesn't have to be like an Expedition 33, but it has to be a game where you're not reinventing the wheel, but you're making it good, like Battlefield 6, in my opinion. It's just objectively a good Battlefield game, and lo and behold, it's doing great. And
no, not anymore. It's not. Not anymore. It's not. Battlefield 6 has lost most players, bro. It's lost most players.
Fake news. Fake news.
What do you mean?
Anyway,
we have the numbers.
Fake news.
Okay.
No. Fake news. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So it needs to be at least good, and at this point, I really don't think it can. And also this huge restructuring thing. Yeah. Man, I don't know. All the games in development and all the things, all the teams are going to have to be moved around, and morale must be like in the Mariana Trench at this point. So, again, I think this is honestly, all in all, in my opinion, pretty good decision. It's either this or just a slow decline. So let's hope this works out because, like I said, I think they at least got one good game in them. And I do think that when you restrict an artist, quote unquote's resources, and you really force them, something, I think BioWare magic or Bethesda magic, maybe Ubisoft magic might rekindle. You feel me? Rekindle. Yeah. You're like the in Dark Souls games, you're relighting a bonfire. Except this time the bonfire is the entire company. So we'll see.
I mean,
We'll
you made me think about something, because you're quite right there. I think there is a possibility, because here's what they're doing, right? They've cut off a game like an easy win in my humble opinion with Splinter Cell, and they just like we're not doing it anymore, and that implies maybe, and I'm reading into it, a hard reset in the development, where they basically say, and you're right, this is exactly what they would need, right? Because the problem is, many companies, Bethesda's another one, but like with Ubisoft specifically, is they always rely on what they did before. The game after, whether it's Assassin's Creed or Far Cry, all these big franchises they have, it's always the same game basically with minor changes, and people are just sick of them, so they would really need to reset the whole thing almost. And even say like, okay, we're always using the, what is it called, Snowfall engine or whatever it's called. We're not using that. Maybe we use something else. We do something completely different. No mechanics, conversation mechanics, choices mechanics we've used in the past. We rethink it all from scratch. I don't think they do this though, because this is a huge risk. This is a massive risk. It's like it's all in, right? They're going all in. This is going to be the one game. If that fails, and I think they know they can't handle that. They will not be able to do it. So I hold your bet. You think they still have this one great game in them? I don't think they do. I think this is it. I think this is the blade in Caesar's back or whatever it is. It's that's it. I think the company, it's over. The company will, this is my theory, the company will shut down. The company will be closed. Look, Tencent doesn't own enough of it to shut it down themselves. But I think they will come to a point where the only value, because the brand Ubisoft is ruined, there's nothing left. There's no value, in my opinion, in that name anymore. So shut the company down, sell the franchises. You can still have the same studios, even the same people working on it, but rebrand it. Right, it's a new thing. This is now Silver Stud Studios, great. They make gay games, online games they make, okay? And but that's one of the departments you spoke about earlier. So maybe that's something I could see. They're like, okay, Ubisoft, they take it off the stock market. The company is basically done.
So EA style, the exact same thing that happened with EA.
Similar,
get bought out. Moved off,
Yeah. That's probably something I could see. That's a possibility, yeah. I think we're very close to that now.
But it really is the ego of the brothers, right? Because they're so egotistical. I mean, they basically were gonna get bought out by Tencent, but they're like, no, we're making a small company that you can buy, and then we're just gonna shift to franchises. So I do think that French, as a whole, are egotistical enough to burn everything to the ground rather than give it to some other person.
Wow, all of them, all the French, because the Guillemot brothers, they are.
Listen, man, one of the greatest things you gotta know about France is when the government instituted like a speed limit, a new speed limit. The French, without social media, I think this was like early 2000s, so this was like pre-social media.
Mm-hmm.
They found every single speed camera in France and destroyed it. The French are a very hefty, creative people, man, and they're willing to just burn everything to the ground than allow anyone else to touch their croissant. So we'll see.
Fair enough. We'll see. We'll keep you guys posted, but let's end it there about Ubisoft. But I just thought that was a big story. But that brings us to your first story. Let's see. Ramsey, step up, please. What have you prepared?
On the topic of companies that are failing. Oh God! We promise it's not always going to be bad news. Okay, we promise. It just so happens that the games industry is in terrible shape right now. But on the topic of studios that have had better days, BioWare Marathon, which is going to be released on March 5th. We're basically just a month and a week away. I got actually good news this time, even though I started it with a bit of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually looking good. I saw you and a friend of the show, Blakey, friend of the podcast and friend of the show, Blakey, were talking about how this game is going to be dead on arrival. To give people, I guess, some background, Marathon is a first-person shooter that originally Bungie developed this like way early into their. This was back. I think they made Marathon back when they were still on. They were a. Fun fact about, I guess, BioWare, they used to be Bungie, not BioWare.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. No worries.
Yeah. But Bungie used to be a Mac-only developer way in the early days. And so Marathon was one of their first IPs. So Bungie's now back at it once again with Marathon, trying to make an extraction shooter. Now, again, a bit of history is when they announced this game, people were excited, and then the gameplay was released, and then people were immediately unexcited. And then the game I think it got delayed twice, and now we're officially in the official release date. And then they recently showed, I think this was like a few weeks ago, a new gameplay demo that re-excited people. And the story is now Marathon, the new Bungie game, as reported by WindowsCentral.com, reporter Brendan Laurie, when he wrote, but at the time of his writing, it had jumped to being the 5th most pre-ordered game, or a top-selling game on Steam. It was the 5th top-selling game on Steam. Now it's fallen to the 51st. However, if you remove free-to-play games, it's actually on the 35th rank. If you move,
we're doing a lot of semantics here. If you remove that and that too, then it's actually number one. It's actually the most pre-ordered game on top sellers. Epic. No. I don't want it. It's not looking good. Oh, so what is it? Place 55 right now, yeah? Okay.
It's 51st. But if you remove free to play, it's 35.
Yeah, we didn't remove free to play when it was 7th or 5th, right? A while back. Then we didn't remove free to play, and now we are suddenly. All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, whatever. Point is, the game is going to release $40, which I think is actually going to be in its favor, because people are fine to put down some $40 for a game that looks fun. The boys over at Inside Games, run by Lawrence Sonntag and Bruce Green, they hypothesized that because Arc Raiders now is the shit and has proven that extraction shooters. By the way, one most innovative gameplay. Are you shitting me? Anyway, though, the boys over at Inside Games theorized that because of Arc Raiders actually popularized the genre of extraction shooters, it might have actually helped Marathon and Bungie, which is an interesting point of view because it made it more accessible. And it looks like with these, pre-orders, it's at the very least not going to be dead on arrival, like you and Blakey theorized. So that theory is dead. And also, I think the fact that the standard edition is $40 and the deluxe edition, because of course there's a deluxe edition, is only $60. I think those are very fair prices, especially in this day and age, if you will. It's probably, though, going to be 156 billion gigabytes because every game is now. But, some good news for a struggling studio, Bungie, not also very loved.
For an underdog studio like Bungie, right?
An underdog studio. Well, at this point, every studio is an underdog studio.
That is kind of true, actually. Yeah.
Marathon.
So, okay,
Things are looking up, baby.
Okay, I appreciate your optimistic outlook there, okay? Like, that's respectable and that's a good thing. I'm not as positive about it. I see a lot of hate online already. Now, let's talk about the art style briefly. I don't hate the art style. I think it looks pretty cool. It's got a fresh kind of stylish look to it. But
I mean, it's been controversial, man.
You heard the story.
Are you going to talk about that?
That's right.
Yes. So, it's happened, by the way, 3 times, like in Bungie's history. It's happened a lot, actually. Bungie's been accused of stealing art and has been proved to steal art multiple times.
So basically, what happened, I think it must have been a year ago, I'm guessing now. They were close, it seemed like they were close to a release date for Marathon. And then a news broke. One of the artists didn't even say it. He just came forward on Twitter and basically said, excuse me, the assets you're using here with like references and images from the trailers, this is my art, and linking to his and it was undoubtedly the same. Like, it was definitely the same artwork.
Without a shadow of a doubt, dude. Without a shadow of a doubt.
And I mean, that really like ruined their reputation brutally. Like it was an absolute massacre for the reputation of this game. But what then followed is that at some point they agreed with the artist. And came to like an outer court agreement or something. He got a lot of money or something, and then they waited a few months to grow grass over it, and here we are now. We're launching it again, and everyone has forgotten that they stole art several times, as you said. So super embarrassing. I just think it's not going to be. Here's the problem. Bungie is just a company. In my opinion, they don't make very creative games. They're visually appealing. They have like a not completely off-putting visual style. And this is controversial. People are going to hate me for this, but I feel
Monkey, they made 2 good games 25 years ago. So how dare you say that?
Even games, and this is really going to be my end, basically.
Oh dear.
Even games like Destiny have no depth. Not depth. I don't want to say no depth. They have no.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's not even controversial.
There's no. It's just like you're playing.
There's no pizzazz.
No, it's like
pizzazz.
You're playing a facade. There's no depth there in that sense. It feels like.
Yeah.
Sure, you can go super deep into the lore. I'm sure, but it's just and all the games from them feel this way. So I don't think this is going to be more than a visual blender. I don't think they will take cues or strong cues from something like Arc Raiders. Also, they think they're Bungie. You know, who are they to be inspired by such a little indie developer? You know, who makes Arc Raiders? I think they are literally too arrogant to look at developers and ideas like this. That's my theory, at least. So it's honestly, maybe Dead on Arrival is exaggerated. That I give you. It's not going to be Dead on Arrival, but some people were like, it's Concord 2, right?
No,
I don't
Listen,
think so either.
You and Blakey are in for a rude awakening. Once Bungie's making $15 quadrillion off this game, you're gonna be eating your words, Mister.
No, that's not gonna happen, dude. That's not gonna happen. We'll see. Well, we have to wait and see. Yeah.
Fun story to break up the slew of negativity that we're in.
That's true.
And I'll pass it once back to our illustrious host, Mr. Sneezing Monkey. What do you have for us today?
All right,
Mr. Games, rather.
I got a little story here. Okay, and it's basically just
hit us with it, Mr. Games.
It's not even a story. It is more just a tweet. I'm gonna put it on screen, but it is a fun story.
Oh dear.
It reads: It's actually insane that the PS5, after nearly 6 years after release, has only 16 freaking games. 16, and these are obviously exclusives. These are exclusives, yes.
Oh, yeah.
16 in 6 years. Again, let me be clear for everyone, right? It's not that these are all the games. There are more than 16 games on the PS5, obviously, but exclusive games, right? The games that you want to have. And they put it here, for example, next to the PS2, you know, hashtag Ramses right here. And you can see the PS2 had 522 exclusives, and the PS5 has 16. Now, I don't want to turn this into like a PlayStation bad, Xbox good thing. I don't care about that. But it is a staggering number, in my opinion. And, look, of course you have to consider PS2 era games. It wasn't less time to develop those games. You could churn them out, so obviously they're more exclusives. Now it takes much more time, you know, to produce these AAAs.
I just want to say very, very quickly, I want to say the PS2 is actually hell to develop on. Like, it was notoriously difficult to make a game on the software that they had. And Sony basically did everything in their power to make it even harder to develop games on it, because they were super useless when developers would reach out and be like, hey, how do I do this? And they're like, I don't know, figure it out. So despite that, by the way, PS2 should always be said most successful console of all time, selling 120 million units, even better than like the Game Boy Advanced, and literally the most successful console of all time. So a bit unfair, but true. 16 games is embarrassing, for sure.
I mean, obviously, it is true. The console, the PS2, was so successful that obviously encouraged lots of people to develop software for it, right? Because the install base is so big, you can make money. But I mean, I would argue the PS5 install base is big as well. But, you know, it's not commoditized anymore. You need a lot of effort and a big team and money and funding to make a big game, an exclusive PlayStation game. But it is such a low number, and I find it somewhat ridiculous. And to be honest, I'm surprised that we're not seeing the PlayStation fanboys almost like crying more and being upset about it. And reasonably so, right? I'm not trying to diminish it. Like, they should be like, bruv, where is it? Kind of like people on Xbox do as well. People are constantly, and now it's a bit better because Xbox bought so many studios, they have more content flowing through Game Pass and stuff. But there was a time where even all the Xbox fanboys were like, where's the content? Where are the games, please, you know? And I don't see this a lot in PlayStation. I see it sometimes, but it really is like the PlayStation fanboys, regarding the PS5 generation at least, they're just like swallowing it. They're like, no, it's great. It is still the box that God has created by himself, the best gaming experience. It's like, okay, 16 games, bro. It's embarrassing.
Well, when you've been on a 2-generation run of hit after hit, you know, and when I think God of War Ragnarok was PS5. And then Ghost of Yotai was PS5, so it might be 16 games. But if you had a list, I bet you that a lot of those 16 games would have been contender for Game of the Year when that game came out.
Here's the list.
So I think that's what cushions it.
The games are Astrobot, Astro's Playroom.
Literally one game of the year, which very strange, but okay.
No, I mean, if it's a good game, I haven't played it. It looked fun. I'm not sure it's worth game of the year, but it's a really fun platformer. Yeah, exactly. Why not? You know, I don't. Sea Smash VRS New Dimension, Death Stranding 2.
What the fuck is that?
So you don't know Sea Smash VRS New Dimension?
You just said letters, bro. You didn't even say a word.
The famous PS5 exclusive. Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Demetrius, The Big Crystal Adventure, replastered. Okay, it's another one. Demon Souls, Death Stranding, by the way. I don't want to miss that one. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Death Stranding 2, right?
Yeah.
That is something I really want to play. It's going to come to PC eventually, but I'm a little bit urging to play that.
Yeah, definitely.
Destruction All-Stars, Ghost of Yotei, Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet, Marvel's Wolverine, okay.
Okay.
Neptunia, Reverse.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Paper Beast, Enhanced Edition, Quantum State, R-Type, Final 3 Evolved, Saros, and Silent Hill, The Short Message. Those are the 16 games.
Hey, man. Home run after home run. What can I say?
You know what I mean? Your argument does not really hold up there, Ramses. It's a bit of a sad lineup, bro.
I don't know, man. Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2, and Astrobot. I mean, those kind of clutch it.
We're talking about 6 years, dude. You're going to play those games for 6 years? Okay,
well, you know, Bethesda hasn't made an Elder Scrolls game in 15. So, you know.
Fair enough. But
you take what you can get in these times.
Okay, I guess the bigger question that almost extrapolates out of this is like, how far do you think are we into the PS5 life cycle? Is like, when are we going to get the announcement? Make your guess now. When are they going to announce PS6?
Most definitely not in the, probably 5 years from now. I think when this reaches like 12.
No,
okay, I'll tell you why. Ask me why.
Ramses, I would be curious to why you think that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sneezing. For the exact same reason that it took what are they called? Valve so long to announce the Steam machine, the Steam box, the S box, if you will. RAM prices and GPU prices and all these prices that keep going up because of AI. How can you consistently craft a product that is you're now competing with trillion-dollar games that you have like 5 of the biggest companies in the entire US going after these 2 pieces of hardware? Literally, one of the 3 biggest RAM producers were like, oh, by the way, we're no longer going to sell retail to customers. We're just going to sell directly business to business with AI because of AI centers. So, I mean, you have this resource that is now immediately scarce. It's immediately expensive. Again, I think literally we know this for a fact that the reason they delayed. I think the Steam machine is $1,000, by the way, $1,050.
Yeah.
So the reason they delayed it for so long is because of the RAM and the hardware prices. So until, in my opinion, Sony is in a very cushy position. They don't. If I was them, I don't really see a threat. Xbox is basically, no offense, but basically dead. We don't even know if it's so interesting. You're asking when's the next Sony. When is the PlayStation 6 getting announced? Nobody's asking when the next Xbox is getting announced because no one's even sure if there is a next Xbox.
That is true. That is true.
And so I think Sony's in this position where why would they release a PlayStation 6 right now? I mean, sure, we're 6 years into the life cycle. I think at least give it another 4 to get that decade in. One thing that plays to their advantage is that graphics haven't developed that much in the last 6 years. Everything's plateaued basically.
Exactly. It's not. You can call it a plateau. Yeah, there's still improvement, but it's like marginal. It's like marginal improvements on visuals, and the PS5 can definitely run games. It might not be at full detail at 4K.
Controversial statement. I think games now actually look muddier. If that makes any sense. I think something about them makes them look muddy. They look blurry to me, in my opinion. I think you said it. I think you said it correct. Where really, ever since 2018, that's it. Really, that nothing has improved past like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah,
and it's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine.
True, agree.
But I mean, it's come to the point where, dude, I know people use this all the time, but in certain angles in like Skyrim. It still doesn't look that bad. It looks bad. Don't get me wrong. Skyrim is terrible. It's a good game, but like the rendering is awful. It looks horrendous.
Yeah.
But with certain angles, it looks fine. It looks okay. So games that are 20 years, basically nearing on 20 years released 20 years, but 15 years ago, and they're still passable. They're still okay. I think God of War 3 actually till this day looks great. I think we can start listing games here, but I think that's just where the industry. Why would they? Why would they? They got rocketing prices for minimal changes. And what's going to be the selling point? It's not going to be graphics anymore.
No, but
so what is it going to be?
Okay, that's a fair point, right? The last point you made, that's a very fair point. A lot to discuss. I mean, first of all, I'm not sure Xbox is dead, okay? I just put they just had a show yesterday. They showed Fable. Fable looks great. Looks like a fun game. I
refuse to give Peter Molyneux money. I refuse to give him money. I refuse to acknowledge that he exists. Peter Molyneux is my sleep paralysis demon that came to life and won't leave me alone. Thanks.
But I don't think he's involved in this anymore. This is just like
I don't care. It's his ghost, man. It's his ghost.
Fair enough. I thought the game looked good. Then Forza Horizon 6 they showed as well. That looked somewhat good. Tim Schafer made a new game where you play as clay pots. Okay, so a bunch of announcements there.
Hilarious. Thank you, Tim.
Of course, there's heavy transitioning happening and fluctuation in the games industry in the world. I'm not sure that Xbox is in such a bad place like you make it out to be. I think it's more gaming as a whole, right? And you're right. In a way, why would they release a new PS5? I think the answer to that, in my opinion, is because it makes you money. You just sell new hardware. It makes money. Obviously, it has to be profitable. If the RAM costs £1,000 or dollars, whatever, just for your next PlayStation, then it's not profitable because people will not pay $3,000 for a PlayStation. I think they need to come up with something to make this work because they want to sell hardware. I think Sony specifically, Xbox I'm not sure, but Sony wants to sell hardware. So my guess is, here's my guess. I think the RAM crisis and GPU prices crisis will not last forever. Okay, there will be a point where the pendulum will swing back, so to say, and I'm saying that's going to be in 2028. 8-9.
Nice.
That's when we get 8-9, 2028, 29. That's like the next PlayStation.
8-9, is that going to be the new 6-7 meme? When we're 8-9?
Let's hope not. But this is my bold prediction. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get a new PlayStation announced. Are we getting a new Xbox? I'm not sure. Probably we will.
Okay, and that's my point. You say Xbox is not dead. I'm not saying Xbox is dead as a company. I'm saying the Xbox console is in, it's gone with the wind at this point. It's dust in the sand, It's a puddle in the rain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what other random metaphor can I pull from my Google Now feed?
No, but
you know what I'm saying? We're not looking good, bro.
People are going to say you're bored. People are going to say they pay you to say this.
What am I getting paid for? Dude, the best console I ever owned in my life was an Xbox. Scratch that. It was the PlayStation 2. But after that, it was the 360, man. I still think the 360 has the best controller of all time. I think the 360 controller is a classic. It fits perfectly. It felt rad. It looked rad.
Yeah.
The Xbox 360 was a huge slam dunk for Microsoft, even though the original Xbox, all of them, by the way, fun fact, the original white Xbox was on release. It had a failure rate of 100% because of the red ring of death. So every single Xbox that they released in like the first 2 years, they had to repair them all at no cost and send them back because it was a manufacturing issue that actually took them forever. It was whatever. But the point is, consoles themselves aren't making money. Like you don't ever make money on the hardware. You make money off of the games. So I do think Japanese like games studios or games companies are more like protective. Look at Nintendo as an example. Nintendo is the hallmark of it all. They want to create consoles and games. I don't know why. It's probably integrated into their philosophy, but they want to make it. They're super protective of their little space. So yeah, no. I think Sony has no reason to release a PlayStation 6. I don't think they're going to release a PlayStation 6 in the next 6 years, bro.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, because there's just no financial reason to.
No, I think you're right. I think you're making a good point. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the RAM prices obviously and hardware prices. It's a big argument. Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult thing. Let's see where it goes. Who's right?
And the only thing, in my opinion, is if AI is incorporated, but in the way that it's been used in games where you face enemies. Case in point, I have to bring this up. Fear, I believe it was Fear 2, as in FEAR.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Do you ever play Fear?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, both of them.
So people still rave about the AI in that game. I think if AI reaches a new benchmark, a new standard that does actually, I hate to use this word, revolutionize the benchmark of the average game, then I think there's a very good reason for PlayStation 6 to be made, because that now you have this new selling point, new AI, new features. You don't have to focus on the graphics, which I think are worse, but I really don't see. I don't know. I don't see it, man.
No, I think that's a good point, right? Because you asked the question, like, what can you still sell them? Graphics haven't improved so significantly for so long, and they're already looking great. Like PS5 looks great. I think there's always more. There's always more. You remember now they last time they've been selling us like 60 FPS, everything 60 and 4K and 60. Everyone is obsessed, at least in the PC sector, about more higher frame rates, 144 hertz. You know, you can sell on that end as well. You know, I think
the gamers want frame rates so high they could see into the future. I mean, at this point, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, but for good reasons, and you can sell it, and you don't get it on the console. Still, many games, even on the PS5, run with like 46, 40, 50 frames. You know, it's like stuttering your way through it. To be honest, in my opinion. So if they could really say, you know, now this new console, the PS6, whatever it is, every game 120 frames minimum, you know, they're probably not going to deliver, but I can see them selling something like this. And I think you make a good point about AI as well. You know, like that's a selling point. It's not going to hit as hard because people honestly don't give a fudge about it. And they don't. Everything is with AI, right? Like people have like a straw you drink from with AI now. It's completely ridiculous. But you're exactly right. From a marketing point of view, 120 hertz and frames every time, plus AI support and you know, the equivalent of DLSS maybe on Nvidia. Now you're selling a new piece of hardware. Why not? And you're also creating a new momentum. If you have a new console, you're right. They don't earn a lot of money on the hardware themselves, especially in current times, probably, but. You know, it's a momentum, it's a thing, it's a news headline, the new console, everyone's excited about the design, you can hold an event, everyone's looking, you have the world's attention for a while when this thing comes out and is launched. What are the launch titles, right? So there's definitely a benefit to launching a new piece of hardware once the old one feels kind of done, if that makes sense, because at some point it feels like we're done with this. Let's see. I still think 2-3 years we're gonna get an announcement for a new console, probably from both. Again. No, you don't think so? No way. Not 2 to 3 years, because this whole AI thing is gonna last at least 2 to 3 years, so there's no way. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So you think as long as AI is big and popular and all that, we're never gonna get GPUs, we're never gonna get RAM or SSDs again?
Yeah, man, we really are not. We're gonna have to grow them. We're gonna have to get seeds and grow them on trees. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, case in point, we literally, like, in our private discussions, we talked about, what, didn't you buy a RAM that was like, what, 175 pounds? Yes. And you looked it up back again, and it was nearly like 500 or 600 pounds now.
Yeah. Like, it's even more now.
Yeah. So literally, like, they used to say, you know, buy Apple. Don't buy Apple now. Like the Apple, the stock, not Apple, the fruit. Just buy RAM, bro. Buy RAM. It's the new gold rush. Buy RAM, bro.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if I sell my computer now, just the RAM inside is like, I think it got 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, the fast one. It's a small down payment on a house at this point.
I was gonna say, enough to fund your college tuition for your kids. Just saying. It's like, here you go, son. Yeah, when your kids go to college, you just hand them each a stick of RAM and be like, "This is your future, boy.
Don't spend it all out there." Once. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good stuff. So anyway, I didn't even want to get into the AI and RAM shortage stuff. That wasn't a story. I just wanted to talk about the PS5 because it's just beyond also the lack of the lineup, in my opinion. It is also like, it feels like the console is out for so long now and they haven't really done anything with it. You know what I mean?
No competition, man.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, you might be right. I mean, Xbox is also not doing anything with it in a way, so... Yeah,
the Xbox is fully focused on Game Pass. So, and you know, everything is an Xbox now. So, God damn it, if your shoe has some kind of can connect to the Wi-Fi, congrats, you got the first Xbox shoe, bro. Imagine that. Once we get Wi-Fi into your socks, you're gonna get the Xbox socks, man, and you're gonna get the Xbox everything, bro. The Xbox toilet. You feel me?
That was
the Japanese are
terrible...
gonna invent that now if they haven't already.
That was a terrible strategy. Everything is an Xbox.
Yeah,
thing.
It's still, dude. It's absurd. I really do think the Xbox Smart Fridge. I mean, where do we get the Xbox Smart Toaster? Like, where does it end? Everything is an Xbox, man.
The jokes write
anyway,
themselves.
let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Because Xbox
okay.
is not a story on the agenda.
Fine. I have one more story I want to share, but so you have to go. Let's go, Ramses. Hit the story. Let's go.
All right, we're gonna go. High Guard. Do you remember what that is?
I did read about it the other day. It's back in the news. What was it? Bring me up to speed.
So, because, for people who don't know, High Guard is a game literally no one knew about.
Right.
No one knew about this game until all of a sudden it was the last game shown on the legendary Oscars for the games industry, the Golden Globe Awards for gaming.
That's where I heard it.
The Jeff Keighley's own, the Game Awards, and it was the last game shown on the Game Awards, right?
Mm-hmm.
It caused, as just a fun tangent, it caused r/Half-Life to just go berserk and fall off a cliff because people genuinely thought that Half-Life 3 was going to be announced as the last game. If you go visit r/Half-Life, sort by the last month, and you just see people just losing their minds, unfortunately. Anyway, I think they're talking about making pie. I don't know. Anyway, point is, it turned out that people thought, what is this game? Because another, I guess, piece of background is it looks very dull. It looks very boring. It's another dude with a high fade with a cartoon-esque kind of Overwatchy type art style, and and it's a hero shooter. Okay, it's a hero shooter. Hero shooters have been out of style for 5 years at this point. Anyway, so the game, nobody heard about it. The first time they hear about it is at the Game Awards. They get this very prestigious spot, so everyone's like, "Oh wow, this must be they must have paid millions." Well, it turns out they didn't pay shit. According to Forbes, Jeff Keighley just really liked the game, and he just gave them the spot for free.
No.
So the game is yes. This has been, by the way, the reporter Paul Tassi. I don't know if you've heard his name. I hear his name. He seems to be. I've heard his name multiple times in the game industry. This was also reported by another news agency, which Paul Tassi has reported on. Paul Tassi got his source from 2 different people. So it's 2 different people from one source and 1 person from another source. So this is corroborated evidence that Jeff Keighley, he just liked the game, so he gave them the spot for free.
Wow.
The game is set to be released on the 26th, literally 3 days. As of this recording, it's probably going to be 2. If not, it's going to be released tomorrow when this episode comes out. High Guard is a game with no marketing budget, and it appears to be kind of working because people are like, why is this game not having a marketing budget? Let's giving the game marketing. It's this fun little story that I wanted to share. Jeff Keighley, gaming overlord, they call it Dolce & Gabbana of video game. That man really is. I mean, he's just murdering it. Just because he liked it, he gave them for free a probably $1 million spot. Allegedly, the Forbes guy said that there were talks that there was another game that was going to be put there, but then they couldn't make it in time. So Jeff Keighley just offered it to High Guard because it was a position that he needed to fill. However, that has not been confirmed. So far, it literally just looks like Jeff Keighley was like, "Hey, I like your game. Here's this super prestigious spot. Have fun." That game, High Guard, in my opinion, that might just be dead on arrival. Actually.
Right.
I think it's either that or it's going to be one of those games that's 100,000 people played it. And then 2 months later, 99% of players have left. I guess to also give some background, it's made by veterans of, I think, Titanfall and another, famous. But, when people say that, how does that really matter? How many people were there of the people that worked on it? And also, it doesn't really matter if you worked on Titanfall. This is completely different to a game. So, sure, you have experience there, but it doesn't really. I'm a hero shooter made by the people who made Titanfall. I'm sure, but I would rather have Titanfall 3, which is never happening because of Apex Legends, which is wonderful. But anyway.
No, I mean, it says in the beginning,
short, fun story. Jeff Keighley rules the world.
Yeah, basically. No, oh good, but you're right. In the beginning, it says the people who made, who brought you Apex Legends and Titanfall, right? Which obviously sounds great, but ultimately just means a few people who previously worked at Respawn now work on this. It's like, okay, cool. I'm not sure.
We got Greg from accounting, and we got Sarah from HR.
Exactly.
I mean, they count. Put them on the list.
That's it. That's the big. Write it on the box. So, but I mean, the game itself even looks a little bit like a less LGBTQ approved version of Concord. You know, it looks like
Valorant, bro. It looks like Valorant to me.
Valorant?
Looks like Valorant.
No, but Valorant looks like a weird sci-fi version of Counter-Strike. This doesn't. This looks like Overwatch.
Yes, I agree.
This looks like a shitty Overwatch, basically.
Okay, how about this? Let's meet in the middle, and let's say it's Overwatch meets Valorant. So
okay,
it's the perfect game.
Okay. Fair enough. It's both games that nobody's playing anymore, right? I mean, okay, that's not true. That's not true. Valorant.
Overwatch 2 has like 6 million concurrent players. They're doing very well.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Maybe that's what they're aiming for. Yeah. Maybe that's what they're aiming for.
Dude, I mean, if that's what they're aiming for, man, I don't know.
Like, take some of the crowd from Overwatch. It's possible. It's possible.
I mean, listen, man. It's kind of like when a 7-year-old tells you that they could beat up Batman. You're like, okay, little guy. Sure, man.
It is odd, though, that they put it in the final spot, which is like literally there's one more thing. It's the biggest spot you can have. It's a huge announcement.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, of course, Half-Life 3 is ridiculous, let's be honest, to assume that or hope for that. But still, it could have been like a big hitter, and then it's this.
Can I just say, I watched the Games Awards live with a friend of the show, and also, gaming MonkeyGames legend Fabius M.
Oh yeah.
And we were just texting back and forth as we were watching this live, and we were just like, "What the fuck was that? Like, was that actually? Are you seeing this?" Yeah, it was very fun. Thank you, Fabius, on that night. You kept me sane. But yeah, we were both I think the entire chat was very confused about what this game was.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like, where's Skyrim 2? Where's GTA 6?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
because the Game Awards, it's just 14-year-olds hopped up on Adderall and weirdos like you and I. They're only half literate. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of my story. So just a fun little. Hey, this is happening.
I saw a meme where there is like this meme where someone lies on the earth, on the soil, and you see underneath something's buried, and then it says, "We still think about you every day." And underneath it says, E3, right? And it's so true. It is so true. We didn't know how good we had it, right? With E3, with the press conferences, with all the cringy entertainment we got from the Ubisoft shows. TV. Exactly. The horrible shows. Basically just all these companies being very bad at marketing themselves on the stage. It was beautiful. And
the best thing about it was so concentrated as well. E3 was it was everything. You just go there for everything, for Sony, for Xbox, for BioWare, for whatever. Like, it was such a beautiful, like, at the time, people made fun of it. People always made fun of, like, how obnoxious or absurd it was. It was always such a fun community event, though. Every single gaming channel would stream it. Funhouse they had all their streams of EA Live were always legendary. So I really do miss E3. I hate that everything now. There's a Xbox showcase and a Sony showcase. And to be fair, we play with Jeff Keighley, but as much as we make fun of him, the guy is, the Summer Games Fest and all these things. I genuinely, no joke, I really do appreciate it because these are big community events that get people together. Yeah, man, I really do miss E3. And died because of the pandemic, and I'll never forget the PS3 during E3. He's like, just to show you the power of the PS3, we got this huge crab enemy. Everybody loves crabs, right? So we got this huge crab enemy that we're just gonna beat up for 2 minutes.
So many beautiful moments. Man. Those were the days, right?
Yeah.
Those were the days. No,
anyway,
I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree with the Jeff Keighley thing, though. I freaking hate it. I think he's boring. I think he's not engaging.
Who else?
Listen.
Who else is doing it like him, bro? He's moving in silence.
I respect that he pulls this off. You're right, Summer Games Fest and Games Awards and stuff. It's a thing. It's a community award. You're right. I wouldn't want to cancel it, but it doesn't make me hate Jeff Keighley less. I hate him. He's annoying. He doesn't feel like someone who's in any way linked to the games industry. He doesn't feel like a gamer. I cannot even picture Jeff Keighley playing a game for 3 days straight, right? Because he's like so immersed in this world. That's impossible, in my opinion. So he's the wrong person. He's doing a good job at what he's doing, fair enough. But when he speaks, he's not engaging. And let's bring in someone else. I don't know. I'm not going to give names who I would replace.
You know
Jeff
what they
Keighley
say?
with.
Listen, man. You know what they say? Coaches don't play. Coaches don't play.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway,
fair enough.
On to your story.
Okay, final story. Okay, final story, because we are running out of time. And this is one that I have bookmarked for you. And again, my stories mostly come in the form of one single tweet, and there's not a lot of meat to the bone.
Awesome.
But
Hella Games journalism. Jeff Keighley, if you're watching, watch out.
To be honest with you, I just want to make sure you're sitting down for this, because this is going to hit you hard.
I'm down.
It's going to hit you hard, okay?
All right.
Are you ready? You're really ready for this, okay?
Okay.
The vibes for the Elder Scrolls 6 have never been worse. Writes
no.
Legacy Killer. Okay. Now listen to this. Listen to this.
No.
Bruce Neesmith, who was the Skyrim lead, Kurt Coleman, the Skyrim co-lead, Michael Kirkbride, Morrowind/Oblivion writer, and Nate Perkypile, who's the Skyrim senior artist, all saying that the exact thing you don't want to hear about the Elder Scrolls 6. That's what the tweet says, okay? So all these people. Here's a headline. Yeah. The Elder Scrolls 6 might disappoint the fans, former Bethesda designer says. This is an article. Yeah.
I saw this.
You saw this. Okay, fine. Here's another one just for people who haven't seen it. Ex-Bethesda dev says he's highly skeptical about Elder Scrolls 6.
You don't say.
You don't say, right? How come? How could they be skeptical? I don't understand. Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5 are no-win situation for Bethesda, says former lead artist. Yeah. Ouch. It is so hard, these headlines, bro. And then here's a tweet from one of the other guys I listed as well, with Kurt gone, my face and see the Elder Scrolls 6 has cratered. So,
yeah.
Okay, first of all, I think right now this is the big thing they're working on, right? This is the big thing behind closed doors at Bethesda.
Listen, man, it fucking better be.
Yeah.
It fucking better be.
Fair enough. It is fair to assume that that's what it is. I think they're currently working as hard as they can on Elder Scrolls 6.
Todd Howard's coding like crazy.
So
he's trying to get the UI right. We gotta get the font right. We gotta get the font.
Here's my theory, and I mentioned this before, right? Like the biggest problem for me, the moment when when Elder Scrolls 6 kind of died in my head, was when I heard that it's based on Creation Engine again, and I was like, that's it. The game will disappoint. It might not be an awful game, but it will disappoint, because like again, in my opinion, a big problem also with Starfield was this engine. Not necessarily for the looks. Like, I wouldn't say Starfield is like an absolutely ugly game, but right, just the technology behind it doesn't work anymore. And it is a little bit, to be honest, we spoke about it earlier, like what Ubisoft is doing, where they have a thing that kind of works, right? Whether it is Elder Scrolls and based on this engine, or whether it's a Fallout game or something. And they're like, we're going to do the same thing again. And then we do the same thing again. And then we do the same thing again. Right? And here we are. Now we know that basically Elder Scrolls 6 is going to do the same thing again. It is going to be the same thing with slightly better graphics. And that's why I can see there, like, this is probably going to disappoint the fans, because I think, and I mean, you're the fan, right? That's kind of why I wanted to talk to you about this as well, because I think my perception is fans want a new form of Elder Scrolls adventure. They want the world, they want the creatures, the lore, but they don't want just a Skyrim DLC with slightly better graphics. You know, I don't think that's what it is.
Yes, dude.
And it's not gonna happen. That's why I think it's a reasonable approach to be concerned about the next Elder Scrolls.
I mean, listen, man. I was worried about the Elder Scrolls 6 when they announced it, and then for a solid 3 years, we got nothing. And then we continued to get nothing for years to come, you know? That's what worried me. And that continues to worry me a lot. Yeah, I think after Starfield, which got a lot of people worried, honestly, members in the fan base, at least the sentiment I'm getting is, please make a good story. I think people were okay with Skyrim's kind of mechanics. They weren't, too crazy with it. But I really think the point that people want is they don't want the lore to be whittled down again. The biggest complaint always about Skyrim was just that the writing was just so mediocre, man. The story was like, listen, it's one of those stories where it's super fun to read about on Wikipedia, but when you're actually playing it, it's boring as fuck. You know, uh, everything is so. I still think the main quest in Skyrim is actually not that bad. It's fun.
Agreed.
But it's just so boring. Like there's nothing. Just go here, fetch this, come back. Go here, fetch this, come back.
To be honest, I would disagree. I would disagree.
Cool...
I would disagree with that. I perceived the story, the main quest line of Skyrim, actually to be really cool. You start in whatever it was called, Winterfell or whatever, this little town. Yeah, and then
Helgen, and then you go to Riverwood.
Yeah, River, and this big valley, and then there's this town there, right, with this castle thing on top. I don't know what it was. But then you go deeper into the story, and then they're like, oh, now you got to climb this huge mountain, right? And then later you have to find this one guy who lives in this village somewhere else, and they send you to these places. Later you find you have to climb up to the magic school. You remember? I don't know if that's... Yes, right. Whatever. You go over this bridge and you discover these cool locations. And as they send you, it's a long journey to this bridge thing. As you go there, you discover dungeons and other things. I thought the journey that the main quest sent you on actually wasn't boring at all. There were side quests that were boring fetch quests, but the main story was, I object.
Yeah, sure. The gameplay loop was fun. My point is that it's not really an RPG in the sense that you don't really get to make any choices at all. The story happens to you. You're not happening to the story.
That's true.
And Bethesda games weren't really, they allowed some measure of role play. I think the point of Bethesda is that you imagined your character. That's the thing. You play as no name, no nothing. And it really, your play style kind of had an impact on the quest or on how you played the game. So that was the point of role play. But like in Morrowind, you always beat Dagoth or you couldn't join him. But there were different factions that you can join, and there weren't a lot of choices you can make, But I really do think that people are really, at least for the side quests, were really disappointed in Skyrim, especially coming off of like Morrowind, which had this very interesting world, very alien, yeah, man, I don't know. I just think the biggest point that I see is I really hope they don't whittle down the lore even more. And yeah, for development's sake, I don't fucking know, man. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's not really that along in the development cycle, because the artist that you talked about, there was another article talking about a guy who was, Todd Howard promised him that he was going to be the lead on the next Elder Scrolls. He waited 11 years, and then he wasn't, so he just resigned. And he just, a whole group of artists just talked about how the studio just got too big, too corporate, too many people, became very sluggish, decision making became very sluggish. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they aren't even that far along in the development cycle. I mean, the last thing I heard about the development was that they added the Skyrim grandma. That's the last thing I remember.
Right. I remember this. She passed away recently, right? Rest in peace.
No. That's a different Skyrim grandma.
Oh, it's a different one. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, there's Shirley, and then there's the other Skyrim. Come on, man. Know your Skyrim grandmas. It's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. That's true.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, what is there to say about the Elder Scrolls other than Bethesda has not evolved with its own size?
Well, let's see.
Not scaled.
Let's see. Right, like for example, I think what you said a minute ago is really interesting. Like, if Bethesda would say, sure, it is based on the creation engine, and sure, it looks only marginally better. It looks a bit like Starfield and all that, but all your decisions matter, and your journey is massively influenced by, like, you can have 50 different game experiences, right? Depending on what choices you make. And they really deliver on that. If they would make that the premise of the game, now I'm back in. Now I'm like, okay. Like, I think, was it Baldur's Gate 3 did a similar thing. I didn't play it. I only read about it. But people are saying, like, decisions were really
Baldur's Gate 3, though. Yeah, but Baldur's Gate 3 is a very, very special case. I mean, that game was in early access for, like, what, 4 years. It had constant community feedback. The game development team was small, so it could listen, it could react. It was very flexible. I think that game, in my opinion, was like a dark horse. Like that kind of development is never going to happen again, in my opinion. I mean, they were a small studio, and that allowed them that level of maneuverability. And I think kind of what you can kind of compare Bethesda with is the studio that made Kingdom Come Deliverance. Dark Horse, I think, is the name.
Yeah.
So they made Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is really like Kingdom Come Deliverance is truly the most AA game to have ever AA'd, if not a little bit lower than that. But it was basically a huge, massive, expensive, very good, like S tier proof of concept. That's really what, Kingdom Come 1. And then Kingdom Come 2 is the game they really wanted to make.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, you can compare Bethesda with. And I just think that, people look at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and if you're a big, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls fan, and obviously Kingdom Come is more realistic, whatever, but you look at that and you're like, this isn't really off from how Bethesda make their games, and it's still not being done, man. I think really they kind of struggled when they became a huge corporation. They really did struggle. They just didn't know how to scale with it. I think their operations, the way they work, is just, I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely not giving a whole lot of confidence. I mean, it's been 15 years.
Yeah, I know.
Since, or close. It's been 14, but by the end of this year, it will be 15 years since
and it's
Skyrim
gonna
was
be,
released.
and it's gonna be another 7 years, according to you, right?
Yes, yeah. Actually, I have revised. My numbers, right?
Oh, okay.
Why? Because I think, I think literally every single Elder Scrolls has been released in November because they want to get the Christmas audience.
Right.
So now I think it's going to be 11/11/33. Still 33, still 2033.
11, right.
But this time it's going to be 11/11 again.
Nah, he's going to go. If he does 33, he goes for 3333. 3rd of March.
No, because if you release it in March, I mean, sure, yeah, I guess you get the summer thing, but I mean, I don't know. I would love the 3-3, all three, the 3 of a kind, if you will. He's playing poker, and we're all playing, chess or whatever.
All right, fair enough.
So here we are.
I haven't played Kingdom Come Deliverance, but especially the second one was received so well. Probably at some point I'll have to check it out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You played it? Did you play it?
Listen, I know. No, but, dude. How did Claire Obscure win Best RPG over King? Are you shitting? Whatever. Man.
Well, anyway, we're out of time, unfortunately, and Claire Obscure is a story for maybe the next episode, which will come out in about 2 weeks from now. Huge episode. Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Maybe the best one we've ever done. Legendary already, that's true.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
And you know what? What's the best part about it? The best part about it? It only took us one take.
It's all one take. It's no editing in this one. Anyway, that's what it is. Listen, we're growing and we are checking out what we can do, and we're challenging what's technically possible with this format. Okay, that's basically what it is. So anyway, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Ramses. Is where you say.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to the audience for listening. If you're still here, comment your favorite E3/Jeff Keighley moment. And where were you when High Guard was revealed in the game's trailer or the game's award? Tell us that. I would love to read all one of our comments.
That'd be great. It'd be great. All right. Thanks for listening and watching and all that. See you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah. Take care.